Welcome to the brand new Zach Lowe Show. That's right, I'm back to have the same in-depth NBA conversations you're used to. We're going to talk about the games, the X's and O's, the drama. The playoffs are coming up. And now you get to see every episode in full on video on Spotify and on my own YouTube channel. Episodes drop every Monday and Thursday with a collection of guests you're going to love. So make sure you follow and subscribe to the brand new Zach Lowe Show on Spotify or wherever you watch or listen to your podcasts. Let's go!
This is not a test. This is your emergency podcast system announcing the commencement of the annual Take Purge. At the siren, all takes, including things you don't actually believe, will be legal for 60 continuous minutes. No players, coaches, or media members of any kind will be granted immunity. All rational thought, logic, and professional credibility will be suspended. The Ringer Podcast Network thanks you for your participation. May our take God, Chris Sims, be with you all.
Welcome to the Ringer NFL Draft Show, and I am joined by two men who want to purge their souls. My name is Danny Heifetz, and I'm joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck. DK, are you thrilled to bask and bathe in the light of purity when you cleanse your soul?
There's truly no sound that gets me going more than the intro to the Take Purge. It really like stirs up your soul.
It frightens and titillates.
Yep.
And excites. I'm a little afraid right now. You know, I wish I feel a little exposed even just recording in my home office. I wish I had a take bunker I could be in to protect myself. You know, we need take bunkers. We need to record out of a darkness retreat.
Like a black site. Somewhere where no one knows where we are.
Yeah.
And again, if you're listening for the first time, this is your first purge. You have to purge. Oh my God. Wow. Just like that.
Without further ado.
So what that siren means, again, it's time, boys. So it
has begun. It's like Severance. We just went down the elevator.
Whoa. And if it's your first time, we covered the draft for so long that like we just got to get these takes out. You know, it's like there's intrusive thoughts we don't even believe, and we just have to say them. And so now we have an hour to just say whatever we want, consequence free. It's things we don't even think, and like we're just lighter and freer at the end. And so
professional credibility is suspended. That line gets me.
Exactly. All professional credibility is suspended. So, does anyone want to? I would start, but if anyone really wants to start, anyone's bursting at the seams, by all means. But if not, I'll take the mantle here.
I mean, I can go. I'll do it.
DK.
I'll start. I kind of want to just get this out of the way because it's going to be crushing to Heifetz's soul. But Travis Hunter is probably just going to end up playing on one side of the ball. I'm sorry. Grow up, Peter Pan. Count Chocula. This is the NFL. This is the NFL. He's 188 pounds. They play 17 games. He's not going to play both sides of the football, or at least not full time.
So what would you say to Travis Hunter this week who said, if I can't play both sides of the ball, I'm not going to play football?
I would pat him on the head and say, okay, that's fine. We'll see you at training camp.
No, nor should he want to. It's like, are they paying you twice? Hey, you want to take
true.
You want to take the opening and closing shift of the restaurant?
Like, do I get overtime
paycheck?
for this or what? Yeah.
That'll be cute for about a year and a half until you get hurt. You want to be the first BOGO athlete? No.
And to be like a little bit more realistic about this take, like maybe he ends up playing both sides of the ball for a while, but it's not going to be a long-term thing. I really just think the rigors of the NFL, a lot of players can't stay healthy playing one side of the football. He's 188 pounds. I reiterate, he's 188 pounds. John Harbaugh was the voice of reason this week. He said, quote, "It's going to be interesting to see how they do it wherever he goes. But to say that you're going to be completely immersed in everything that there is to know on offense and everything there is to know on defense, I don't know if there's enough hours in the day for a player to be able to do that and have every detail locked down." I think he's just the voice of reason right now. I mean, it's really fun to think about this guy being a unicorn and being able to play both sides of the football, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Can I draft off your take? Can I like a slingshot in Talladega Nights?
Shake and bake, baby.
I think, yeah. I'm Cal Naughton. I need to get a one win.
But if you win, how am I
going to win?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Good point. Yeah.
I think taking Travis Hunter second overall is absolutely insane. I think we're brainwashed by the two positions thing. Like, I think in reality, he is a B+ player on both sides of the ball, and that convinced everybody that he's actually an A+ player. But We're talking about a wide receiver as the number 2 overall pick on a Browns team with no quarterback. He's going to be basically the lightest player weight-wise that'll ever get drafted in the top 3. In the history of the top 3, he'd be the lightest player. And we're doing that for a slot corner and a part-time wide receiver? The comps are out of control with him. People are calling him like Justin Jefferson, Odell Beckham.
Hey, that was me.
Sure. Trade him, right? Like I would trade out of 2 and get a massive haul because his hype will never be higher than it is right now. And when he gets hurt, now you have 2 holes to fill on your roster if he's playing both sides of the ball. I think it's the easiest trade out, and the hype is never going to be higher for a guy that is actually just a B+ on both sides of the ball.
Wow. We started out hot. Did you have the same tank?
I'm glad we started that way because I have something I have to get off my chest as well about Travis Hunter.
Oh dear. God, he's going to be the greatest player in any sport that we've ever seen, and he'll ascend to the heavens.
Honestly, yeah, I actually think that's actually if you take
is this a take purge? You've been saying this for 2 months,
but take quarterback out of it. Take quarterback out of it. I literally think Travis Hunter is going to be the best football player of all time. Literally the best football player ever.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding you. Take quarterback out. Tom Brady, Mahomes, quarterbacks. Take quarterbacks out of it. No Tom Brady.
That's fair.
But if you right now you can't really answer that question. Like, who's the best football player ever if you take quarterback out of it? It's like hard. Is it Jim Brown or is it Joe Green? Like, you don't know who the answer is. Jerry Rice, Reggie White. The answer is going to be Travis Hunter. He's going to be the best football player of all time who's not a quarterback. Or the best football player in 100 years since Jim Thorpe. Travis Hunter's not a generational player. He is a once-in-a-century athlete. He is good enough to play on both sides of the ball, and everyone is confusing. They haven't seen it with their own eyes with not possible. And I honestly, the people who think, no offense, but like you two, that Travis Hunter cannot play on both sides of the ball, I genuinely feel bad for you. Like, I literally pity that you guys don't have the vision and imagination to see that this is going to work.
I didn't know we were doing personal attacks on the take.
That's just how I feel. Like, I'm not saying I believe that, but I do feel like when you're like, well, I can't do it both ways. I feel bad for you. I can't believe that.
Do I think he's physically capable of playing a snap on defense and excelling and then playing a snap on offense and excelling? Yeah. But first of all, he shouldn't. I don't know why you'd be playing 100 snaps for the price of 50. No thanks for me.
Because he's better than the other people. Because it's not about the money.
It should be. He's playing 2 times for the price of 1.
We'll figure that out later. That's also, he can make $50 million later. He can make like 2 positions later. It's honestly, I know I keep saying the Ohtani thing. You know who else did that? Ohtani. Ohtani literally, the way that Japanese.
Yeah, but he pitches like every 5 days or whatever.
But you can argue it's harder because cornerback, it's like you're guarding yourself. It's like equivalent to playing offense and defense in basketball. It's like I just play that position and then I guard that position. Pitching's a completely different thing.
Yeah, you know what happened to Shohei Ohtani? He got hurt. He had Tommy John. He had to get surgery.
And then he went at 50-50. Then he had 50 homers and 50 steals playing one side of the ball. That's the downside is we'll have to focus on one side later and be the best at it. It's like, he had 4th in Cy Young in voting before he got hurt.
Oh, so we're talking about baseball versus football. Right. There's no physical contact as a pitcher or a DH every single week.
Quarterback.
This is like exactly. This is look. Maybe this happens, but it's so funny because it's like we'd never have a Shohei Ohtani, and then right when we get him, we're like, oh, you know who else could be one? Like that's a once in a lifetime player in any sport. Why do we think all of a sudden there's going to be another one in football?
Because he just did it at the college level. It's not like a projection.
How many players have succeeded in college and then flopped in the NFL because it's a completely different sport?
And Patrick Surtain, who's the defensive player of the year, says last month, maybe I could play receiver. That's ridiculous. You've never done it. I watched Travis Hunter play. Here's why. It's all the details. Travis Hunter, there's a receiver, there's cornerback, and then there's the conversation of whether he can do both. It is worth saying the LSU receiver comparisons, whether it's Jefferson or Odell Beckham, are because Travis Hunter's catch radius is immediately top 10 in the NFL by just walking on the field. Like, DK, you're our draft expert. Travis Hunter's, first of all, his wingspan is 1 inch shorter than Ted McMillan. So, let's start right there. The build is crazy. But then, his actual ability to catch balls, he's immediately just fades or just comebacks to the goal line. He's probably already going to be a top 10 receiver in the NFL as a goal line threat, immediately. Defense. I've never made this comparison. You don't see it a lot. I think Travis Hunter's IQ
on defense, the only comparison to me is Ed Reed. I think he's probably the smartest defender in the secondary in like 20 years. I think he's a genius. He's a football genius. And I think that instead of being like, oh, well,
just feels so over the top.
The IQ. Dude,
See, this is exactly my point, DK. This is why the Browns should trade out and get 3 first-round picks because they should just...
We're turning... He's like a fucking...
They should send Heifetz pitch to 31 other teams and get 3 first-round picks for an undersized wide receiver cornerback combo.
I agree. I don't like him going to the Browns. I wish he was going to like literally any other city except Cleveland. Like, I don't know, New York. I wish he was going to like not a cursed... I mean, I know the Giants are cursed too, but I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. He's on
creating
the
like a mythology of this guy.
You know
his football IQ.
And he's electric.
Second to none. Only Ed Reed was better. Come on.
It's true. Dude, even feet on the goal line with a running back barreling down on him on it was like a 4th and 1 versus, I forget, Utah something. I don't remember. And he clearly was not going to be able to stop the guy from going into the goal line. So he just puts all his energy and just tries to force a fumble and just Superman punches the ball out and wins the game. There's an IQ and the application. It's not just the athleticism that he did at altitude. It's like he has the mental smarts that he's going to make it work. I don't know.
You know what else has always bothered me about the Travis Hunter hype is that Heifetz is like, I watch the games, I watch the tape, he's so electric. I feel like during the season, this is admittedly anecdotal, so if you want to jump down my throat, that's fine. I feel like during the season, nobody was like, Travis Hunter is the best wide receiver we've ever seen. Travis Hunter is Odell Beckham. Travis Hunter is Justin. It was only when the season ended that that this idea started to come around that, oh, he's this dual athlete. Actually, he's the best wide receiver we've ever seen. Nobody was saying that during the season.
He won the best receiver award in college football.
He was a freak cornerback who was playing wide receiver, as I feel like what the consensus was, but nobody was like, this guy is a Jamar Chase level talent. That conversation was not happening.
Jamar Chase, I'm admitting he's not Jamar Chase, and that Jamar Chase is to me like the best receiver prospect I've seen recently. I think Jamar Chase is the only guy. I think if you want to put like Julio Jones up there.
People are calling him prime Odell Beckham, Justin Jefferson. I'm sorry, that's in the same category as Jamar Chase to me. But nobody was saying that in the middle of college football season. Nobody was like, Colorado has the best wide receiver in the history of the game.
I think Odell is a good comp.
Look like one.
Odell is a good comp to me. Because Odell was not like the most disciplined route runner. Odell being like, oh, I'm going to hit like this 14-yard landmark and then have a precision Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp-esque route running. It's not Odell. Odell's a freelancer who just has like these crazy huge hands with this like unimaginable catch ability that also had the crazy speed. That to me is why the Odell comp works. Is he's going to do crazy shit and it's going to be like high IQ, but like not really what the plan was, but it's going to fucking work. I think that's why the Odell thing, I understand Justin Jefferson sounding like hyperbole. Odell, I think, makes sense.
I think Travis Hunter benefited from honestly a pretty weak wide receiver class, and that if he was next to Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. last year, people would not be calling him Odell Beckham and Justin Jefferson. That's honestly how I feel.
All right. Well, I think that we've covered. I think everyone feels represented by this conversation.
We got off to a hot start.
Yeah. I'm now scared. I'm looking out my window. I feel like there's going to be a sniper, a red dot on my forehead.
I feel like starting off being anti-Travis Hunter is the stupidest thing we could do, Craig.
It's the take purge.
I'll probably get hurt. We'll be fine.
I'll have no memory of this in 52 minutes.
The Giants will take Travis Hunter and then he'll like pull a hamstring and the Giants like, fuck, we're down 2 people.
Yeah, we're down a corner and receiver. Awesome.
Shit. Oh my God. All right. Yeah,
it's like how they never let the vice president and the president fly in the same plane.
Yeah, exactly. All right, DK, you got another one here?
Oh, I got to start 2 in a row?
No, I'll do it again.
I can go, whoever, yeah.
Go for it, Craig.
Yeah, Craig. Go.
I think Ashton Genty is the only good player in this draft, and he should be the #1 overall pick.
We had an email here from a Titans fan who was like, I want to take Ashton Genty over Cam Ward.
Dude,
the only good player.
He's the only. The QBs are bad. Travis Hunter is undersized, can't pick a position. Abdul Carter has a super risky, problematic foot injury.
Can't make up his mind.
Will Campbell has the shortest wingspan of any tackle drafted in the last 10 years. Mason Graham's undersized and has short R's. Jalen Walker's undersized tweener. Ted McMillan might not care about football. I'm like, you know who cares and is going to play every snap and we know is good? Ashton Genty. Cam Ward is going to get drafted by the Titans and probably get Brian Callahan fired when he sucks. You know the last time the Titans were good? What did they have? What was their team centered around? A generational running back in Derrick Henry. They should just do that again. He'll be a fan favorite. Everybody will love him. He'll sell tickets, and then you build around him.
Dude, we got to shout out to the Titans. Wait, let me pull up the Titans fan. Oh, Richard emailed us like a very similar thing that was just like, I kind of just want to watch Derrick Henry again. I don't want to watch a shitty quarterback.
I like, cool. We're gonna get Cam Ward, who's like, let's
like
be
a
honest,
17th best quarterback in the NFL, maybe. Like that's your upside.
Yeah. Or you could take like the best running back since Saquon Barkley and just have a good time and figure it out.
Have a good time. Yeah, that's fun.
I love that, Craig. I think that's really good. I have a similar sort of general take on this, and this is sort of stolen a little bit from a Blue Sky comment that I got, Blue Sky reply. This was CMW42 on Blue Sky. My take purge is that each franchise should have a Heifetz's dad as part of their front office. Their role would be to watch college football playoffs and come away with strong opinions, such as Joe Burrow is good. My actual take here, which I honestly kind of believe, is that every front office should have a designated alien, like quote unquote alien in the draft room. Basically, if an alien came down from space and turned on the tape, who would they decide was the best player in college football or whatever? This is kind of related to the
This
Ashton
is like a Bill
thing.
Simmonsism a little bit.
Yeah, it's like basically we overthink, we overanalyze, we overthink everything. We start to talk ourselves out of the good players and talk ourselves into these guys that have potential, quote unquote potential or whatever. You lose track of the forest for the trees or whatever the expression is. You miss the forest for the trees. I think having like a palate cleanser guy whose literal job is just to watch highlights would help a franchise make better picks.
You're describing me.
I have an
Right.
idea. I have an idea. So like the alien comes down and he's like, so let me get this straight. You got 400 guys in this list. 399 play one way.
Oh God, save it.
And then one guy plays both ways. Take him.
I
maybe.
do think that, you know my opinion. I think draft season's way too long, and that like I think if the draft were a week after the college football season ended, we'd be way better at predicting who's going to be good or not, and if we just have a way more accurate first
Just
round.
gut take, just like
this is
have
kind
no
of like
opportunity to meet or learn anything about him. Just watch and be like,
watch the games,
Yeah.
pick your players.
There sort of is like I don't know if it's a maximum in scouting, but it's a thing that is a real thing in scouting that usually your first take, your first gut feel on a player ends up being right. More often than not, because like a lot of times you'll watch a guy and you don't like him, and then you hear other people talking about how great he is, and then you're like, oh, maybe I'll go look at it again, and start to talk yourself into him, and then at the end of the day, you're like, wait, I was right the first time.
Yeah, you're kind of beholden and trapped by groupthink and by peer pressure from the outside. Usually, when it's just you alone watching something, your first feeling is generally, I feel like, the one you want to go with.
Trust your gut.
Yeah.
Trust the highlights. I'm gonna zag. Just watch highlights on these guys.
just watch highlights. Just scout with highlights.
Just scout highlights, and you're gonna be right
Dude,
more
and
often
this
than
was like
not.
my fantasy football hot take. I'm like, prepping for fantasy football is a waste of time. Like everyone else is just like let auto draft. It'll give you all the best players.
That's a good point, Craig. We should shameless plug. We after the draft, we go back to the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. So if you've been listening for the draft, stick with us because we do this Ringer Fantasy Football Show 3 episodes a week in August, 4 episodes during the season, and we go in depth on all these players and everything and tell you everything about how to draft. Total waste of time. Honestly, just auto draft. Honestly, we have no idea
You'll
what
be
we're doing.
fine.
So
Fantasy's one on the waiver wire.
boom.
I have
that.
Not to like completely blow my load early in the show, but I have another one that's very related to this. Mind if I go again one more time?
Sure.
Short
So polite
refractory
inside
period.
the Take Purge chaos.
Yeah, you know.
That we're in the dungeon.
Heifetz just comes out attacking us for our takes, and then
I don't attack you. I just feel bad for you. I pity
but
you.
that wasn't
which
even
is
a-
worse. I pity you.
That wasn't even a Take Purge out of Heifetz. He's been doing that for 2.5
I know,
months.
seriously. I had this idea that the NFL should designate a control team. Basically, this is the control team where they just draft off of consensus draft boards. They let polls and things online decide their moves in free agency. This is going to be like the Bodie McBoatface team, basically. Like they just go by what the most popular thing on Twitter or whatever it is. And just, I would be genuinely interested to see if they could compete or do better than some of these GMs in the NFL, just based on going off of the consensus, whatever, big board or whatever it is that you have. And we could just call this the control, and it would be a good way of seeing if GMs are actually any good at this.
So the Saints should just auto draft, you're saying.
Right.
Just auto
Essentially, this is the auto draft team.
Yeah, this plane can fly itself, honestly.
Yeah.
The Bodie McBoatfaces, I feel like would be league average at worst.
The Bodie McBoatfaces. That's even that's honestly true because that's kind of how I feel about the whole. Like, I still agree with what I said last year, where I could be an NFL general manager.
Right.
Like,
I would
could do
hire
it.
Bill Belichick.
Couldn't be. I would hire Bill Belichick. That's,
Would you
was
still
my
hire Bill
grand plan.
Belichick knowing that his girlfriend is like running your front office?
But she can help. Whatever.
Okay, cool. Just check.
Every great businessman and CEO is quietly being influenced by his 30-year-old girlfriend. It's a tale as old as time.
Belichick, the difference, he's just upfront about it, you know?
Yeah.
All right, I got one right. I got one here.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
I've been waiting to get this off my chest. The best quarterback prospect in this draft is like very obviously Jalen Milroe.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
It's
Heifetz.
kind of unbelievable.
You sick fuck.
Like
We
Jalen Milroe.
are in lockstep. This is one of my takes, too.
Yeah, it's 2025. In 2028, Jalen Milroe will be a top 5 or top 6 quarterback. He will be right there with like he's going to be on the level of like Lamar or Josh Allen or like right
Wow.
near them, maybe a tier below. But like he will be in that conversation. He's going to be at the Justin Herbert level. And we are going to look back at this draft and wonder how the Giants, the Browns, the Jets, the Saints, the Steelers did not take Jalen Milroe. And all those teams are going to feel so unbelievably stupid.
Wow. I didn't go quite this hard on this.
take. This is
Well, that
awful.
means it's
this makes
working.
me ill just to hear you say it. Why? Do you have? I know we're in the take purge. Do you have any explanation, or is this all just a sick, twisted gut feeling you
No,
have?
you know why? It's because I think the running, we talked about it a little in the quarterback episode, but we haven't talked enough. The running from Jalen Milroe is actually a superpower. Like Dane Brugler had this stat at the Beast. Jalen Milroe had in college just last season, 12 rushing touchdowns of 10 or more yards last season, which is the most by any quarterback in college in the last 25 years, including more than Lamar Jackson had in 2016 and in 2017. So like literally just in terms of explosive runs, more than Lamar Jackson at Louisville. And he did this in Alabama in the SEC. So like better competition. That's number one. I think the thing with Jalen Milroe is he actually can play from the pocket, which is somehow not being discussed and kind of lost. I actually think Jalen Milroe can play from the pocket. The problem is his mechanics are inconsistent, so his throws are inconsistent, so the offense is inconsistent. You know who else had inconsistent mechanics? Josh fucking Allen. Like, fix the goddamn mechanics. Like, we have learned that you can fix mechanics in the NFL. Like, I know I keep bringing up baseball. Pitchers, like the off-season stuff with pitchers go to Driveline and you have like these guys coming back with like new pitches, all this stuff. We have learned so much about quarterbacking in the last like 5 to 6 years. It is unbelievable. And like how these small tweaks, it's like the idea that Jalen Milroe was even this good before he had any mechanical tweaks. It's like, holy shit. When he gets 2 years of this, take him on it. I would draft him. Stick him on the bench for a year or two. Not quite Jordan Love 3 years, but like at least a season. Don't do the Anthony Richardson to him. Let him relearn to like throw more consistently. And I think he's going to be a fucking monster.
Yeah, I see your Lamar Jackson and I raise you Anthony Richardson, Malik Willis, and Justin Fields.
Malik Willis might be good, actually.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, Malik, but my point is that like Richardson's problem was he got thrown into the fire immediately. Like Chris Ballard, the Colts GM, even has said, my biggest regret is I can't believe he played him early. I think, like, for example, if the Eagles drafted Jalen Milroe, everyone would be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, everyone would just clench. And I'm just saying, a team with vision. And again, if Jalen Milroe goes to the Browns, over. It's done. His career is nuked. I kind of think if Sean McVay gets his hands on Jalen Milroe, there is like multiple MVPs coming.
Oh, I think it makes the most sense for Milroe to be drafted. You're right, by a good team with an established quarterback, and then basically he can be Taysom Hill for 2-3 years and just like learn how to be in the NFL, practice with a good quarterback, practice with a good coach.
The mechanics are a mess, but everyone's underrated. But he can play from the pocket. He just needs to fix the mechanics. Need to be.
He
consistent.
has a really strong arm.
His arm is crazy. It's because he's. I feel like I don't know if it's just because he's 6'2" or what, but I also think teams are more enamored with him than the media. I think that some of the media is behind. And if you guys this year,
He got invited to the freaking green room.
going to the draft, which means they think he might go in the first fucking round too. And I swear to God, I kind of think the Steelers might take Jalen Milroe at 21. I think Jalen Milroe actually does go in the first.
I can't follow that impassioned take with a much more milquetoast, like sort of bland one. But
Like,
my take was basically Jalen Milroe will have the best career with 2 giant asterisks on career of any of the quarterbacks in this class. I don't necessarily know if he's going to end up being a quarterback long term. I think the nice part about Milroe is, like Heifetz said, he has a superpower. He is a special athlete. And if it doesn't work out where, you try for a few years and he doesn't work out at quarterback, I know this is like one of those takes that it's like the Bill Polian thing from like years ago where Lamar Jackson should turn into a wide receiver. I'm not trying to do that, but he has the floor of being like a Taysom Hill, Cordero Patterson type of player if the quarterback thing doesn't work out.
But the difference between him and Taysom Hill is Taysom Hill's arm sucks.
Right.
Jalen Milroe's arm is awesome.
I got to say, whenever somebody tells me, whenever we're talking about it like an objectively bad quarterback, there's always the like, yeah, but he's got a really strong arm. And I just hate that. It's like the fake boobs of quarterback skills. It's like, I don't care if he has a really strong arm. He can't fucking throw to anybody. All right. He's not accurate. Anthony Richardson has the strongest arm in the league. He can't fucking hit an 8-yard out. So I don't care how strong Jalen Milroe's arm is if he can't fucking throw it to anybody.
I just want to go back to like September 10th of last year and show Craig Horlbeck from September of 2024 what Craig Horlbeck's saying about Anthony Richardson.
No,
like
different. That's
you
in the lens of
obsessed.
fantasy football. You're
Please.
saying he's going to be a Lamar Jackson level
when he
starter
slipped on
in the league.
logo, when Anthony Richardson slipped on the logo
It was
week 1 and
unbelievable.
threw the 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I just want to go back to that moment and be like, in 5 months, you're going to use him every week as an example of
But
why
I
like
think
he's going to
that is-
fail.
But that's kind of like the exception that proves the rule is like those guys can do that every once in a while. And that's what allures you. That's what traps you into drafting somebody like that is like, yeah, broken clock is right twice a day. Every once in a while, Anthony Richardson is going to throw some rocket moonball to Alec Pierce.
Yeah, send Anthony Richardson to the Giants for a third-round pick. We'll do it happily and stick him on the bench. Anthony Richardson's younger than all the quarterbacks we're talking about. His career's not over. He's played like 14 games in the NFL. He hasn't even gotten to 17 games. The book isn't over.
It's over.
No, it's not. Please. But relatedly to Milroe, fine. And here's my other argument for Milroe, and this is about other players.
This is
another
good.
take purge I've had. I think 2025. Come back to this around the 2028 NFL draft, and you're just like, give me every player that comes from a military family. I want all the military family players, and this is going to be part of my my GM thing. Is all these kids are a lot of these kids, snowflakes, NIL, transfers, me. I want the military. You know who the military family kids are? Ashton Genty, Miko Buka, and fucking Jalen Milroe. Give me that offense and I will give you the world.
That's a great take. I have no notes with that one.
Yeah,
I fully
really
support
enjoy
that. Which actually dovetails nicely into my next take, which is that Shadeur Sanders is just Bronny James with better PR. I think he is one of the most obvious stayaways in recent draft memory. The red flags for Shadeur Sanders are glaring for any quarterback ever considered to be a top 3 guy. He basically has no elite physical tools. His only coach since middle school has been his dad. His dad is also one of the greatest football players, one of the most charismatic, confident people of all time. I can count on one hand. Prime time. I can count on one hand the number of kids who have lived up to their Hall of Fame parents' expectations. And then if you just look at the stats, I think there are so many glaring issues with Shadeur Sanders. 34% of his throws were at or behind the line of scrimmage last season, and yet he held onto the ball the 110th shortest in college football. So basically,
he took the most sacks of any quarterback.
He held the ball for 3 seconds on every pass, and then when he did throw it, he was checking down to the line of scrimmage, and then he took the most sacks in college football. Explain to me how that's supposed to make any sense. No wonder the guy's tough. No wonder he's willing to take you hit because he fucking has to because he holds onto the ball too goddamn long.
364 more days till next year's tryouts.
Yeah, he's not mobile. He has no speed or athleticism.
That one hurt a little, but I'm okay.
He had negative 50 rushing yards last year. Kenny Pickett's senior year stats blow Shadeur Sanders out of the water, to be honest. And when you look at all the when you look at all the analysis, the phrases that people use to try to make the case politely for Shadeur Sanders, it's like standard arm talent, decent command, average velocity.
Standard is so funny.
Like, he's Deion's son? Cool. If his name was Kevin Wilson, he'd be a 5th round pick, is how I feel.
Kevin Wilson.
What am I missing?
Part of my whole take on Jalen Milroe, and even though I'm not going as far as Heifetz on it, is related to just I don't feel great about the rest of this quarterback class. I think guys like Tyler Shuck, Jackson Dart, Will Howard, Kyle McCord, red herrings. Why are we wasting our time with these guys? You know what I mean? It's just not going to work. It's not going to work out. And Shadeur, I think, is on that list, though I'm a little more confident in him than those other guys. I think, and when you look at Cam Ward, who's the one guy I'm actually pretty confident in, what do you think the odds are that he turns around and ends up elevating the Titans? 20%,
20%,
30, maybe 30%. Like, and that's like being pretty generous. Generally speaking, these guys that get dropped into a really bad team that has a first overall pick, it's just too much for them to handle. So it's almost like by default that I'm going, I think Jalen Milroe is going to end up the best quarterback in this class, just because, like Heifetz said, again, he just has he has superpower athleticism, and it's something that I would be willing to bet on. I also have a take that's somewhat related to the military families thing, Heifetz, that you brought up. I think Emeka Egbuka ends up being the most productive receiver in this class. And that's just by the numbers receptions at the next level. So this is kind of like a fantasy take, but I love me some Ted McMillan. But if Emeka Egbuka ends up in the right system, I think he could catch 100 passes a year. Best hands in the draft, rock solid route runner, gets open versus zone. Gives me sort of like the power slot, Chris Godwin, Amon-Ra, Rashee Rice, that kind of like those kind of vibes of just guys that get open, run after the catch, not super flashy, not making the craziest plays you've ever seen, but just racking up 100 catches every year.
Emeka is kind of the quintessential like guy everybody overlooks because he doesn't do anything at an elite level, but he's just going to step into the league and immediately be like Keenan Allen and be a productive player for 15 years in the NFL.
I love him. I feel like all the other guys are so much more high variance. Sometimes you just want a guy that you know is going to be good.
If you could rank players, it's funny to like the way big board stack or whatever, you end up giving player a grade or whatever. But if you actually ranked players on consensus floor, I don't think you could I don't know if there's ever been a player in doing this draft where I think it would be harder to find teams say be like, oh yeah, I don't think he'll make it in the NFL. Like, I don't think in 32 teams, I don't know how many scouts you could even find that would be like, I don't think Abuka's an NFL player. Which you can find someone to say that about fucking anyone in the NFL. And Abuka's probably as close to S-tier certified as like NFL player as you're going to find for someone that people don't think has like elite upside, which is just like a hard play. It's a strange profile. But
you guys have any reaction to my Shadeur is Bronny Sanders? I mean, is Bronny James a better PR?
I'm like profoundly jealous of that. We should just call him Bronny Sanders till he does something. You know why? It's funny because you're right. Because again, my comp for Shadeur Sanders the whole time is Brock Purdy, who was in fact the last pick in the NFL draft.
That's right.
And it's maybe he shouldn't be the third pick to the Giants.
Who stepped into like the best roster with the best offensive mind calling plays for him.
I think Shadeur, that we should do the same thing where I keep wondering, like, if his name was Deion Sanders Jr., he'd probably be the third pick. Yeah. And if his dad was just not Deion Sanders, he'd probably be like the 35th pick in the draft. It's kind of a case study in how much can PR actually help your draft stock.
Which, it also, this is not a full-throated take purge. It's kind of a half-hearted take purge. I kind of think this whole Shadeur thing has been a carefully orchestrated Trojan horse to get Deion Sanders a head coaching job in the NFL. Like, he kind of built this program around his son, recruits the best player in the country, Travis Hunter, puts his son in a position to succeed, let him be good enough, prop him up, use the primetime machine to get Shadeur drafted in the first round. And then he goes to some team, they stink, he gets the head coach fired. Well, who should we hire? Who has proven success who's the only person who's ever succeeded with Shadeur Sanders? His father. Boom, Deion Sanders is the head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
It's like a Littlefinger-esque like rise.
I have a related take purge. Deion Sanders is an incredible father. Maybe like the best one ever.
You mean the guy who actively ranks his children on the internet?
maybe more people should rank their kids because I'm like literally
he publishes rankings of his children. Yeah,
he's just snowplowed every obstacle between Shadeur and the NFL away, so that like he built a D1. Like he explicitly built a D1 program so his son could be an NFL quarterback. Yep. And you know what? Yep. Every other dad is just jealous.
Right. Bronny, what about LeBron? Do you feel the same way?
Dude, didn't Rich Paul... my favorite story about the Bronny thing is that the picks... Wasn't it like the 20 picks in the second round before the Celtics?
He told people
before the Lakers?
That he would go play in Australia. I think.
Yeah, Rich Paul, the agent for LeBron, called every team and said, if you take him, he's going to Australia.
Yep.
He's going to the Lakers. Like the six. Dad of the year shit right there. Like LeBron's won, No, great job by Deion. Okay. Shadeur not going to the draft.
Do you think, I know Deion just re-up with Colorado. Do you think Deion's ever going to be a head coach in the NFL?
I think if Travis Hunter goes to the Browns, if the Browns took Shadeur, and again, I've been saying this the whole time. The other reason other than Shadeur being whatever is that you don't want to take him is not only are you going to take Brock Purdy in the draft, is that literally is Kevin Stefanski's tenure as the Browns coach. Do you really want the sword of Damocles, the sword of Deion hanging over you every Monday morning on First Take? It's like, How many games in a row could Shadeur lose till Deion's like, I'll take the job? Because 100%. 2 games is not enough, but like 20 games, Deion's going to fucking try to get the job. So it's like, how long of a losing streak can you take till Deion's like, I'll do it?
Deion's playing the long game. He knows what's coming. This is the long con.
Yeah. I got a couple more here, and we got emails. You guys have others? You want me to go?
I think we're probably just going to forget about Shemar Stewart and Michael Williams within 2 years.
Forget about them.
They're going to be like, the guy. So like, who I just was thinking of when I was thinking like, we never talk about Kayvon Thibodeau anymore. When was the last time you thought of him other than when Thibodeau, I brought him up?
We thought we'd go first or second with Aiden Hutchinson in the NFL draft, and then the Giants take Thibodeau 5th, and then he's just been the most forgettable player.
Like, I don't remember a play from Kayvon Thibodeau, and I was like a fan of his in the draft. I thought he'd be better than this. I'm just like, when I picture these two guys, I'm like, they have somewhat high floors because I think they could be good run defenders at the very least.
So a little pro. Shemar Stewart's the most athletic defensive end at the combine in 40 years. And then Michael Williams is the Georgia defender with the arms that like Demogorgon arms.
And Shemar Stewart had 1 sack last year?
1.5 sacks?
Oh, okay.
Is that
Don't
plural?
forget about the half.
Can we call it sacks?
1.5.
He had 1.5 sack.
1.5 sack.
I think you round up on that, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, do you round down?
I'm just thinking, if like the odds are that if these guys turn into like double-digit sack artists, like obviously we'll talk about them a ton, but I bet in 2 or 3 years, like we'll be like, oh yeah, that guy, remember that guy? Yeah, that I remember that. He was super athletic guy. Whatever happened to him? I'm just like, these guys give me, I don't know. It's just like there's so many red flags, kind of, or like, warning sirens going off in my head about these two guys. So I don't know.
Stop. Austin just texted us and said, I lost money on Kayvon Thibodeau's crypto coin Dream with a J before he was drafted. I bought the coin and I lost that money. I can't believe you bought fucking Kayvon Thibodeau's cryptocurrency.
Classic.
My God.
Austin lost a lot of money in the Hawk Tua coin.
He says $100 investment gone.
That's how you know that Shadeur would really be a Ponzi scheme, is if like the day before the draft they release a coin.
I mean, he's got his podcast ready to go to make the announcement.
Oh my God. All right. That's good, DK. That's a good one. You're probably right. I also think Shemar Stewart's going to the Colts. Okay. I got one here.
Okay.
I got a Chiefs one and an emailer has an Eagles one. Which one do you guys want? I'm going to do both, but
let's start with you.
Yeah.
The Chiefs one. The Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs.
Oh, interesting.
Chiefs are missing the playoffs. Like literally, they got worse, and all the other teams in the division got better.
Heifetz did call the decline of the 49ers. You were just saying like it's going to absolutely go to shit for them. And
losing a Super Bowl destroys you. It destroys you inside your soul. It destroys. I'm going to read the quote from Deebo Samuel, who went on Amon-Ra St. Brown's podcast.
Yeah, we did this last year. Yeah.
Deebo says, "Not going to lie, losing the Super Bowl, it puts you in depression. You go months without talking to people, wanting to be seen. Losing the Super Bowl is one of the worst feelings ever. Think about it from our position. We just went through all of camp. We went through the whole season, got to the Super Bowl. You lose. Now you go back to work in 3 weeks and you're going to try to do it all over again. That is crazy." And I think that if you're the Chiefs, this is a 3-year thing. And it was all for that game. And they lost, and they all know it. And they all know winning the Super Bowl this year won't actually make up for last year's Super Bowl. And they brought back all the slow players. So, like, that's the emotional thing. They brought back Kelsey, who was going to retire if they won. Kareem Hunt, who should have been out of the league 3 years ago, hasn't been athletic enough to be on an NFL team for 3 years. And they brought back Juju. And then they lost all their defensive line depth and Justin Reed. The team is worse and depressed.
Counterpoint, they have Patrick Mahomes.
Sure, they had Mahomes. And I know the counterpoints, they went 15-1. But the real counterpoint, they are 17-0 in their last one-score games. They pulled this whole season out of their ass.
It's all going to come crashing down.
They won 6 games last year.
Didn't they pull the season before that out of their? Didn't they go 10-7 and then win the Super Bowl?
Yes, and you know what? No one can just defy gravity like that forever. Like literally, they won 6 games last year on the last fucking play of the game. They went 10-0 in the regular season of 1-score games. I'm not even saying you dropped to 5-5. I'm saying that's a 12-win team that got lucky enough to go to 15. Let's say they should have gone 7-3 in the 1-score games. That's a 12-win team. I'm saying a 12-win team last year. That's the quality of them. Is going to drop to 9 wins. It's not even a crazy thing to say. I just think the 15 wins was outrageous. They're a 12-win team that'll be a 9-win team. They're going to miss the playoffs.
Well, you know who the AFC team is that's going to replace the Chiefs in the Super Bowl? It's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
If God willing, Aaron Rodgers joins the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think.
Jesus, God willing.
I think.
Just Satan willing.
I think it's going to be a massive success. And this is truly an intrusive thought. Like I don't want. This is a sickness, and I need help. But
I know, Kirk. Usually, I think you have really good sort of just 30,000 view of everything,
TK,
and I usually trust your gut.
We're in the take bunker right now.
Yeah, but it's like I was trusting everything you guys said before. Now I'm just like, okay, he's off his rocker.
Let's run through the Pittsburgh Steelers in the last 5 years. Last year, the win total this year, by the way, is 8.5. Last year, they went 10-7 with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and no wide receivers. Year before that, they went 10-7 with Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, and Mitch Trubisky, and no wide receivers. The year before that, they went 9-8 with rookie Kenny Pickett and Mitch Trubisky. The year before that, they went 9-7 with 39-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. The year before that, they went 12-4 with 38-year-old Big Ben. The year before that, 8-8 with Duck Hodges and Mason Rudolph.
Duck Hodges.
You're telling me that this team can't win 11 games with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf? You can hate Rodgers all you want, but like, is he worse than Mason Rudolph and Russell Wilson?
Mason Rudolph is on the 2018 team. Wow.
Is the O-line going to be better or worse in 2025 than it's been in the past? It's probably going to be better. Are the receivers better or worse in 2025 than they were in the past? I think everybody, like when you actually have to get down to clicking the over or the under on FanDuel, when you look at 8.5 and Aaron Rodgers is on the team, everyone's going to click the over. That's what I think.
It's so awesome to actually see it in real life. Has this ever worked for anyone? No, but it could work for us. It's so fun to see one of these.
Has it not worked every year for the Steelers? Duck Hodges, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, and Justin Fields. It's worked 6 straight years in a row.
Wait, this happened while we were recording. Did you see what Aaron Rodgers said today? Aaron Rodgers,
yeah, he was like, retirement's still on the table. Everything's on the table. I've made no decisions.
He said that too, but then now the new quote going around. So this is from Zach Rosenblatt at The Athletic. And Aaron Rodgers talked about his meeting with the Jets when they cut him. Mm-hmm. And this is the new administration. And this has just happened. Zach Rosenblatt tweets, so Aaron Rodgers said, quote, listen, that was an interesting 2 years, to say the least. I figured that when I flew across the country on my dime, there would be a conversation. The confusing thing to me is I went out there to New York to meet. I meet with the coach. Aaron Glenn, the head coach of the Jets. He says, we start talking. He runs out of the room. I'm like, that's strange. Then he comes back with the general manager. And I'm like, all right. So we sit down, and I think we're going to have this long conversation. And 20 seconds in, Aaron Glenn goes, you sure you want to play football? And then I say, yes. And he says, we're going to go in another direction.
Wow.
Aaron Glenn kind of sounds like a dick.
I mean, it sounds like he knows what he wants. And then Aaron Rodgers says, why would you not want to pick my brain?
I want to pick his brain.
It's probably a brain worm in there.
Look, I have my Take Purge mask on. You know what I mean? Like I'm running up and down streets causing havoc right now. But
Aaron Rodgers reminds me of like,
it is an intrusive thought. This is my deepest, darkest fear that I want to believe.
It's been rattling around my brain too, because it goes back to ever since DK was like, my question is like, who's more likely to implode the Steelers, Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers? It's like Aaron Rodgers. Who's more likely, which you could argue Russell Wilson if he started 0-4, and the way they ended 0-4. But like, if there's, which one is more likely to make this like a cheeky, crazy AFC Championship game win? Yep. Is obviously Aaron Rodgers to me. There's no path to me that Russell Wilson can make the Super Bowl. But like Aaron Rodgers if Mike Tomlin can just rein in George Pickens and DK Metcalf, which as I said out loud is a crazy thing to say.
He's been doing it. That's his whole thing.
The Jets are losers. The Steelers are winners. And like, you know what? Sorry, Rodgers couldn't turn around the Jets, who fucking suck. And their owner's an idiot. And the owner's son is out here just like, the fact that he even took the photo with the draft thing, it's like, that's the owner's son, is preposterous. The Steelers are winners. I see what you're saying, Craig.
Aaron Rodgers reminds me, I was watching clips from Mad Men the other night, Aaron Rodgers reminds me of like a huge pain in the ass client that they have to like teams have to like bend over backwards to like keep them happy. They're just desperate for the business. And so they're having to like take them out, like get full court press,
wine and dine,
all men on deck or whatever, all hands on deck. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. It's good. No, yeah, it's good.
That felt
just
good.
wants to feel the love. Just wants to feel the love. Not
Although
a lot of clients out there.
I don't know why we are trying to show him the love. Like, I feel like it's like that scene in Jerry Maguire where Rod Tidwell is yelling, making Tom Cruise yell, "Show me the money." The Steelers are trying. I feel like we are doing everything we need to get Aaron Rodgers, and he's still.
Steelers are too proud to be groveling to the 42-year-old quarterback.
41, but yeah. But who's checking?
Soon to be 42. He's 41 going on 42.
All right, you guys, what else you guys got?
DK, you got one?
This is just a random, super nuanced one, but Jordan James will be a household name by December.
The running back out of Oregon.
I purposely didn't talk about him a ton on our running backs podcast the other day because I think he's flying under the radar, but I think he's really good. Really twitchy in the short area, runs dudes over, good vision, good acceleration. For whatever reason, I feel like no one's talking about him, but I think he's going to go on day 2, and I think he's going to be good in the NFL.
Can I throw another kind of lower down on the list player that I think is going to succeed?
Yeah.
I think if you got rid of age, name, and school and just showed me the highlights, I think Tyler Shuck is the best quarterback in this draft. If Tyler Shuck's name was Shadeur Sanders and he was the son of Deion Sanders and he was on Colorado, like if you just put him on Colorado, he had the same year he had. He was the same build. His name was just Shadeur Sanders, and he was playing for the Colorado Boulders. I think he would be the second overall pick in the draft, maybe the first, and everybody would be talking about all of the great things he has: the size, the mobility, the frame, the live arm. We'd be talking ourselves into all of it. He's 6'5", he ran a 4.6 40. This guy has everything. I think that would be completely the narrative if his name was Shadeur Sanders.
Would it be the narrative if he was in the same high school class as Trevor Lawrence?
Look, age is just a number, Heifetz. People are doing anything now. Look, people are having kids at 45, running companies at 75. Why can't they be playing quarterback at 25?
It's actually pretty good. It's pretty good, actually. Everyone's doing stuff later, you know?
Sure. Brandon Weeden was before his time. He was ahead of his time.
The NFL just wasn't ready.
No, we weren't ready for what Brandon Weeden had to offer.
I have a list of thoughts here too, including ones that I'm just going to reprise from previous Take Purges that I still believe. But one, Will Campbell's arms are too short.
He's running them back.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again.
No, Will Campbell's arms are too short. He can't. That's preposterous to just be like he'll be the only one that can do it. Although I'm also going to be honest, if people thought he couldn't do it, I would sit here and be like he can do it. So that's just someone that.
It's just the natural it's just contrarian in you.
I just want to be my purge is like my thoughts on Will Campbell are dictated by who I'm talking to.
Yeah, Take Purge is whatever all the draft analysts think. I think the opposite.
Yeah, that's honestly how I feel about Will Campbell. When people say the arms are short, I'm like, who cares? He was a freshman all SEC.
Yeah, who do you like? No, he's gonna suck.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Things from previous Take Purges that I still believe. I could be a GM.
Mm-hmm.
Any quarterback drafted by good teams, I think will be good. Like if Quinn Ewers goes to the Niners in the 5th round, I'm in. And if Quinn Ewers goes to the Browns in the 3rd round, I'm out. And I feel that way for the Rams, the Niners, Vikings, Eagles. Anyone they take will be good. Dylan Gabriel to like the fucking Rams, I'm like, that guy's going to have a 10-year NFL career.
All in.
And literally anyone drafted by the Browns, Jets, Saints, Giants, Steelers will not be good. No offense, Greg.
Oh, damn.
Arthur Smith's your coordinator. I don't want to hear Dick.
Steelers.
They made the playoffs last year. All right.
Please.
Okay.
When's the last time Mike Tomlin developed a quarterback? No offense, but we're coming up in 20 years. So just saying.
You would winning seasons with Kenny Pickett, Duck Hodges, Mason Rudolph? Sure.
You think they were developed?
No,
he's making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
I think he's making chicken shit out of chicken salad, to be honest.
Really? Kenny Pickett with chicken salad?
I still think of Kenny Pickett. I still in my head call him the sort, because when you sort any stat,
he's always at the bottom.
He's at the bottom. He's the decent.
Kenny Pickett stats.
Yeah. I also just want to reiterate that the draft is an un-American process and fundamentally preposterous.
Yeah.
And the idea that, and I know I keep saying this every year, but I'm going to keep saying it. The process that, like, if you took the best business school graduate in America and sent him to the worst business, and then a year later that business went bankrupt, and we're like, I guess that guy sucked the whole time.
Right. The guy who graduates at the top of the Harvard law class goes to the worst law firm.
And then, like, the 1,000th best guy goes to Goldman Sachs, and Goldman Sachs makes money, and everyone's like, man, he should have gone first.
Well, you know what the compensation is for that? A fuck ton of money.
You want to know my take to that?
Just saying.
My counter take is that the salary cap and the draft are the only two reasons the NFL is good.
Well, the NFL needs parity in order to succeed.
Yes. No one who wants to watch a fucking sport where you can buy a championship every year.
That's baseball.
This is the weird. Well, this is the really weird thing.
Craig.
I know, but the weird dichotomy is that the NFL succeeds in large part because they're socialist, because the Cincinnati Bengals can spend as much money as the Dallas Cowboys, and they share the revenue. And that European soccer, ironically, is like way more capitalist, where the big teams just pay money to teams for they don't trade, they just buy players, and there's no free agency culture. Like, until Mbappe a couple years ago, like, no, soccer players never run out their contract and do free agency where they never do that. They just re-up on the contract. It's like it's way more capitalist, where like the teams are in control. And what's funny is now college football resembles European soccer. So you have college football is now the epitome of capitalism, where there's like no contracts. It's like a very capitalistic thing where Ohio State can just pay money and do everything. And the NFL is like this extremely socialist thing. It's bizarre.
Unlimited salary cap, no contracts in college sports.
Yeah.
Go woke, go broke.
Okay. You guys, if you guys have
the
more,
NFL is like the exact opposite of that. The NFL is exploding.
I have a couple emails I want to read, but if you guys have other purges, please.
No.
But if not, then we have some emails on the Take Purge that were incredible.
I'm good. I'm purged.
Okay. And then I also have a couple non-football ones. I'll do the football emails, and then I want to come back around to like our non-football ones. Does that sound good?
Sure.
We got an email here. This is from Dane. This is my favorite one.
D.
The subject line of Dane's email was Take Purge. Howie Roseman is a bad general manager.
All right.
Incredible take.
I'm in. I'm sitting up in my seat. You know the meme where the guy sits up in his seat?
Yeah, just architect of the Eagles. Architect of the Eagles, bad general manager. Dane writes, let's ignore that Howie Roseman drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson.
Oh.
Disregard taking J.J. Arcega-Whiteside over DK Metcalf. Let's not even talk about how the Eagles' master strategy is just taking the top player remaining on Mel Kiper's big board.
That's what I'm saying.
Auto draft. Howie Roseman just auto drafts.
The Bodie McBoat faces.
Forget that the Eagles' salary cap's a house of cards. Ignore how lucky the Eagles were to get Vic Fangio at defensive coordinator and Kellen Moore at offensive coordinator to save their butts. And that Nick Sirianni's a vibes manager. Forget all that. Howie Roseman's a bad general manager because he tried to trade his fortunate assets for Russell Wilson, who bailed Howie Roseman out by vetoing the trade. And the trade package he tried to give away would have included multiple first rounders and Jalen Hurts. So it means no A.J. Brown, no Jalen Carter. Jalen Hurts goes away to Seattle. And then it's like, how can we give Howie Roseman credit for all of these moves when he literally tried to give all these picks away? The credit for this Eagles Super Bowl literally should go to Russell Wilson.
Fucking amazing take. Fucking amazing take. And honestly, I'm sold. I think my take on this, like my sort of like piggyback on this, is that all GMs are bad. Like they all suck at it.
They're all the same. I think to me, it's like they're all.
There's, you know what I mean? There's no different. I've always made this comparison. It's like basically all GMs are like hedge fund or whatever managers. It's like for a short amount of time, you can look like the best fucking, the biggest genius in the world. But over a long time, the S&P 500 is going to beat all these guys. You know what I mean? Well, like just put your money in a fucking ETF and whatever. That's why I like this idea of having a control team that doesn't have a GM. It's just going on polls from fans or consensus draft boards.
And I actually think Howie Roseman is obviously like a very good GM, but I think this story is illustrative though, because he's
putting that
right.
together. He's lucky as fuck.
He's right, because I think to me it's an example of like, even if you're really good, it's like blackjack. It's like if you're winning 60% of the time, that's like incredible. And I think that this is a good example, because this is true. Russell Wilson declined. He didn't want to go to the Eagles, and literally the plan A was Russell Wilson and Allen Robinson, and plan B was Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. That was plan B. And it reminds me of
Damn.
It reminds me of the head of SoftBank, which is one of the largest investment firms in the entire world. It's in Japan. And they did an interview with like the 96-year-old founder of SoftBank. And they were like, what's your favorite trade ever? And he was like, what? Oh, I don't remember the good ones. I just remember the ones I screwed up. And they're like, all right, what's your worst trade ever? And he's like, oh, yeah. Well, Jeff Bezos offered me 40% of Amazon in 1999 for $1 billion. And I said no, because I thought it was too much. That is 40% of Amazon is now worth $1 trillion.
Damn.
He turned it down. And I'm like, you can be the best person in the world at something, but like you still have these Howie Roseman moments where it's like Howie Roseman literally like it's like a near-death experience for him that he just avoided. Because also like,
I feel and you can coast off
GM,
your wins. You can coast off your successes for a long time and put that on the billboard and it'll buy you 5 years.
Yeah.
Being a good GM is kind of, I feel like being a professional bettor, where if you are getting like 53% right, like you're fucking kicking ass.
And
or
Russell,
whatever.
and Russell Wilson was Theranos.
Just get
like,
slightly more right than you get wrong and you're fine.
Yeah. Don't put all your eggs in the Theranos basket with Russell Wilson. That's kind of what almost happened.
Theranos. I think it's
Theranos? Fuck. It's the Take Purge.
It's not even a real company. It's fine.
So, dude, wait, it's a fake company. I can just say it. Someone emailed in about like lying to your wife. And they're like, well, not about affairs, but it's something funny. And they were like in a town, and his wife, who's a person, like a fitness trainer, but it was like years ago. And they're like, oh, she's like, oh, what's LA Fitness? And he's like, oh no, it's La Fitness. And then like years later, she like became a personal trainer and then pronounced, have you heard of La Fitness?
Oh God, that's good. That reminds me of the time I said Atlians. And I immediately was like, fuck.
Yeah,
like in my soul, I knew I had really fucked it up.
Yeah. You have 5 seconds to pull that back and double down.
It's like you just like grimace when you say it. You're like, oh fuck, that's definitely not right.
That one was really good. All right.
Love Fitness.
Was Dane a Giants fan?
Dane?
Who was the guy?
Didn't mention it.
I'm just wondering who he roots for.
I don't know. But I think that's it's really under-discussed.
I agree. It goes to show that even the best GMs their resume is littered with pretty much a few less misses than everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great way to put it. Literally, someone who works for a smart team said to me, the first rule of being smart is don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
And
and that's like why you see teams are very hesitant to like hitch their wagon to a quarterback, because that can be the one big thing you fuck up, you know?
Yeah, Howie Roseman's just taking Georgia D linemen, and most of the time it's working out.
I think quarterbacks are like face cards. It's like you got to be willing to like you got to be willing to lose those hands because it's, you
also,
should be
let's not
betting on
pretend
more.
that like most of this is luck. It's like if the quarterback hits, the rest of it gets way easier.
Ron
100%.
Wolf, who's as respected as any general manager in NFL history, has a quote of like, he told Scott McCloughan this, who's as respected as any modern scout. And Scott McCloughan was like, Ron Wolf told me once, if you can hit 1 out of every 10 quarterbacks, you will have this job forever.
Yeah. 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. That's like that is the most respected general manager of all time, is Ron Wolf. And teams don't do that anymore. But anyway. Okay.
This just makes me feel a tremendous amount of like nihilism about studying the draft. It's just like no one fucking knows anything, man.
No,
this is what I'm saying. Everybody should just go on vacation, come back April 17th.
Yeah. The draft should be an email.
Board. Yeah.
Just email me the list. Like, email me. Just tell me the 257 players.
Imagine
who
how
were
much time everybody, all the front offices guys could have saved. They're on vacation. Do whatever you want. Show up
with your families this whole time. My God. Okay. We have one more email. No, honestly, it's so good. It's not even a purge. This guy's just right. Great email from Alec. I'm just gonna save it.
A good take.
His point is just retiring numbers is dumb. Like, one, because you're gonna run out of numbers one day. But his point is like it's so much cooler when you just make the number an honor. Like the Cowboys with 88 going from Irvin to Dez to CeeDee Lamb is sick. And like he has all these examples, but I'm like the Penn State thing where it's like Micah Parsons gets 11, LeVar Arrington at 11. Like it's passed on, and then Abdul Carter's 11. And I'm like, he's right. And I didn't realize LSU does this, where Patrick Peterson was 7, and then he gave it to Tyrann Mathieu, and then Leonard Fournette, and then Jamar Chase, and Stingley, and Will Campbell. Will Campbell got the 7, a tackle. And I'm like, yeah, teams should not retire the number. It should become an honor. I think that's a totally great call.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, he's right also that eventually there will be too many numbers taken to give out to your current roster. They should just retire jerseys or something, and you can still use the number again.
Okay. coming up on the end of our purge here. So do you guys have any non-football things you want to get off your chest before we, get out? The professional credibility is restored.
I've got one. I can't remember if I've ever said this publicly or not. So I'm just going to throw this out there. Chase scenes in movies are boring, predictable filler, and I fast forward them till the end. It's
chases
a
or
waste
foot
of my
chases?
time. Both. I prefer foot chases because if you put like an element of parkour into it, I'm like, okay, this is kind of fun. Like I remember the one in James Bond movie.
Oh, like Casino Royale beginning of this.
There's
that's
actually
good.
like human stunts being performed, and you
Right.
can at least appreciate that. I think
But
this
it's
is
like-
one of your best takes ever.
I mean, it's like every fucking car chase scene. I'm just like, oh god, here we go again. We just fast forward. They're
Let
gonna
me guess.
drive the car down some stairs.
Yeah.
They're gonna fucking drift across traffic.
Yeah.
They're gonna go straight through like a intersection. Oh, cool. Haven't seen this a fucking.
Let me
million
guess,
times.
the villain's not going to catch the good guy at the end of this chase because we're 40 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
That's good. Everything you can do with a car in a movie has been done. Like even Fast and the Furious eventually was like, we'll send it to space.
So, DK, the phrase "cut to the chase," that is not something
Cut
that you
through
believe
the
in.
chase.
Yeah.
Cut to
Just
the end
cut
of
the
the chase.
chase.
Yeah.
Cut to the
Cut the
dialogue.
chase.
Yeah.
Cut to the dialogue. That makes me sound so much
dialogue.
worse.
That's a
Oh,
Take
man.
Purge.
Cut
not
to the
exactly what I'm
intimate,
saying,
dramatic scene. Cut to the denouement.
Oh man.
I have a good one, but I don't really want to go after Craig in anything that involves a Take Purge. I kind of feel like Craig's.
No, I don't have any like altruistic cannibalism type stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say you kind of already got
Nothing
stuff
at that
off.
level.
Yeah.
I do think that music was better when musicians were ugly. And I think music is stale now because we
Oh,
only
that's
let
great.
hot people get famous. And it's a huge
We should
problem.
not let hot people sing.
No. Go back.
That
Go back.
is perfect.
Go back to the 70s, dude. Look, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, Bob Dylan, The Who. Elton John was bald at like 28. These dudes were fives.
What's
These-
wrong
these
with being
guys were-
bald?
These guys were ugly. Simon and Garfunkel. They had
Oh my
perspective.
god. Simon and Garfunkel.
They had shit to say.
They had to be good at instruments.
What the fuck does Tate McRae have to say? What struggles has she gone through? Now we have Zayn Malik and Shawn Mendes making music. Thank God we have Ed Sheeran and Noah Khan holding it down for all the mids out there.
Ed
Because
Sheeran.
it's tough. Now we got Katy Perry going to space to sell a shitty album.
God. Fucking did it again, Craig.
Let the ugly people speak.
It's the best take I've ever heard.
Good take.
Damn.
Trying to think if there's any outliers.
You're so right.
If there's any holes in Craig's theory here.
No,
I mean,
we
look,
need ugly
you-
people to make music again. You're 100%
We need ugly
right.
people to make music again. The ugly people had stuff to say.
That's tough to say. Oh man.
That's that's how you do it. Everyone just study that. That's the teach tape right there.
Hmm.
That's how you do a take.
Sucks, man. Looks are a prerequisite now. They didn't used to be.
What struggles has Tate McRae gone through? I can't wait for all the 40-year-olds doing this who don't know who Tate McRae is to Google
Yeah.
Tate McRae and go
They're
on
about
that
to have
little
a wild-
journey.
Well, dude,
Yeah,
they
but
did
a
this.
wild
wild
day.
Google experience.
They did this in my generation too. It was like Hillary Duff all of a sudden became like a pop star. Lindsay Lohan had some albums.
Dude, video literally did kill the radio star.
Yeah.
Addison Rae is on the Zane Lowe show now talking about her new album. What's happened? What happened?
That's a great. You're correct. All right. Well, mine's not as good as that. Something I've been wanting to get off my chest for like a long time. I think that saying "God bless you" after someone sneezes is ridiculous.
I completely agree, and I love this take.
Ridiculous. Like I just sneezed in public in a room with people, and everyone should make me feel better. No, you should fucking apologize. So, like you say, "Excuse me," because you cough. But if you sneeze, everyone's like, oh dear, honey, oh my God, are you okay? Please spare me.
They should feel shame.
You should
I'm
feel
the bad
shame.
guy. I feel like Larry David. Yeah, I'm the bad guy because this happened with Jackie once. I was at the first time I met her family. Someone sneezed. I didn't say God bless you, and her brother told me later, I really judged you for that. I didn't really like you for 6 months because you didn't say that. I'm like, just what a ridiculous standard.
He judged you for 6 months because you didn't say bless you.
Yeah, I didn't think he was a good guy.
Heifetz, is God bless you? Is that based on Christian tradition?
Yeah, so I believe.
Like, is
I
it
would-
because you came up in a Jewish
I
family
believe-
that you don't say God? That you don't say God bless
I
you?
do think it's probably related to, because there's a whole thing with Reform Judaism where a lot of Reform Jews end up just not believing in God at all. And so that's probably part of it. But like it's more just like the origin of it is from the bubonic plague, when if you sneeze, they thought you were going to fucking die.
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
I'm
they
like, can
literally
we
had
just
to
leave
bless
that
you.
behind?
They thought like your soul was leaving your body, and then they blessed you to bring it back.
They literally were just like, they didn't know what the fuck was going on. So anyway, can we just stop this charade?
You know the scene in Austin Powers where all of a sudden she goes, "Bring out the fat pots!" It's like my favorite scene of any movie. And then Dr. Evil just goes, "Oh!" Like that's like me every time someone sneezes. I'm just like, "Oh God."
I know. The only
Like,
counter
why are you
is
near me? Oh.
when you sneeze. Let's say I don't
Bring out the
know.
fat pots!
You're at a coffee shop and you sneeze, and a stranger politely says "bless you." Kind of nice.
It is nice. It's cool. But like,
But we
the
could say
idea that-
something else.
But it's become, if you don't say it, it's like, oh.
That's right. It's become a social standard where if you don't live up to it, you're like for some reason seen as a bad person.
Imagine if someone
This is
coughed.
such a Larry David take. Holy
Yes,
shit.
imagine if you coughed in
Did
line.
he do this?
Honestly, maybe this is an
It
episode.
has to
but
be
like,
in one of his shows.
maybe,
Yeah.
like, imagine coughing in line at Starbucks and someone's like, bless you.
Or a burp.
Or burp. Yeah. What else are you going to bless people for? That's all. I'm like, okay, sure. I don't want to be judged.
That's really good.
How do we feel? I feel drained. I feel drained of my
lighter.
takes. Yeah. I'm going to
I feel
float
like I
out
just
of
got
here
done
today.
running a marathon. God, those sirens just hit.
What happened? Where am I?
Whew.
God,
Feel
dude.
lighter.
All I know is that the Aaron Rodgers thing's going to be a disaster. I know that. Steelers definitely won't be good with him. I don't know what just
He
happened.
definitely
but
is not just going to get everyone fired.
no, the whole Shadeur thing, he's gonna work out, I think.
Yep.
I'm really curious to
Can't
see
wait
if
for
Travis
that.
Hunter can play on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to
Yeah,
be
he'll
electric.
be able to, I think.
It's going to be electric.
Yeah. I mean, he's a one of one, generational.
Unicorn.
I wonder what team's going to swing on Jalen Milroe and miss.
I don't think teams should reach for Genty.
Achoo!
Bless you.
Fuck off.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyway.
well, that was the Take Purge.
Check out the Tate McRae new album. It's great.
Craig, you stole my thunder.
Yeah. And I love it for the lyrics as well.
Thank you to everybody who emailed us their takes. Thank you
Yes.
to, was
Yeah.
it Dane with the Howie Roseman? Incredible take.
Oh, Dane. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to Alec, who had a good take. Yeah, thank you to everyone. Keep emailing your take purges too. Now that if you've been inspired, listen to this. Email your take purges to ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com.
Yeah.
We recorded this on Thursday, which I probably should have said that earlier because if crazy shit's happened between then and now, we recorded this Thursday, April 17th. So if anything's crazy's happened, that's why. We'll get to it this week. And the draft is this week, baby.
Woo!
So we're excited. Yeah, thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you to everyone who purged with us. Thank you to our take god, Chris Sims.
Mm.
And of course, thank you, Lord.
Lord.
Thank you, Hillary Duff. The singer, to be clear.
Not the actress.
Right.
Yeah. It's the
Okay.
same person.
She had albums, I think. Craig, go look
Yeah.
it up.
Hillary
Yeah,
Duff,
I mean, she
Hillary
was a
Duff's
Disney
icon.
Channel star. Lizzie McGuire movie, she sings in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the whole climax is her on stage.
That's a great Cinderella story where it's like her and I don't know, like and her mom's like, I won't give you a scene, I'll give you a whole Broadway play.
Is the plot of the Lizzie McGuire movie that she happens to look like a pop star who then gets like kidnapped or sick or something and then Lizzie McGuire steps in for her? Is that the plot?
I don't remember this. I remember Cinderella's story better than I remember Lizzie McGuire movie.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Was
Also,
it your
you said
generation that watched?
That's our
Lizzie McGuire,
generation,
or-
I think. Yeah.
I don't
Maybe
even
a
know.
tick older, but I think Lizzie McGuire's right there,
I
right?
say it was like I was before that. Yeah.
She's older than us, but I think when she was famous was more when like I was in middle school.
Yeah, she's 37, and so I think that's old enough that she was like on Disney when we were children. So
Yes,
she was
we were
just,
like 8 and she was 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
Singing This Is What Dreams Are Made Of. That's the
This
Lizzie
is
McGuire
what
song.
dreams. Yeah.
Hey now. Hey now.
And it was just because, yeah, she had something to say.
No, she's too hot. She needs to be uglier. She doesn't know what dreams are made of. Her dreams were granted immediately because of her looks.
I'm now going to think every time we hear a Tate McRae song, I'm just going to think, what has she gone through?
Her dreams were granted.
What has she gone through? What struggle has she endured?
Sorry, this like 9.5 out of 10 just became rich and famous immediately.
God, this is easy.
It's so easy.
Yeah, dude.
It's very adjacent to when you're like, there's no hot billionaires.
Right.
It's very similar. It's like anyone who's hot stops at like 10 million, 100 million max, you know?
Absolutely. If you look like Chris Hemsworth, but you have the brain of Bill Gates, you're not working that hard. You don't have to. You have a great life.
Stopped way ahead of time.
He stopped way ahead of time. You got like a sick job in sales and like partied in New York City. That's what you did.
100%.
You work for Salesforce.
All right. No, all right. God, I keep doing that now. I keep thinking I have to do the thank you, but it's a
no. You already did it.
Show.
We're already in Chicago, and people are listening. We're doing our live show tomorrow night, Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Hell
Shout
yeah.
out. Thank you.
We'll
from
see everybody
Chicago
there.
Came. Yeah. All right. Goodbye, everyone.